I'm sure you were expecting to hear the voice of a beautiful elf or a wise wizard, so they could spin you a tale of gold and ancient evils. But that is not this story. No, this is a story of four friends that call Middle-earth home. A dwarf of the line of Durin's kin, who is obsessed with knowledge instead of gold. An elf of Rivendell, sworn to serve and protect the descendants of a once great house. A banished dwarf, seeking glory and proof that there is more to life than what lies under a mountain. And a hobbit of the Shire, who collects treasures of the smallest kind. Together, with their strength, wits, and heart, they will face the growing shadows of the East, bringing light where there is darkness.
Lofrim, are you okay?
Oh, I'm better than great. I had a vision. No, it wasn't even a vision. It was like another time, another place, Elvornith. I was there. I was an elf.
How did it feel to be tall?
I'm just concerned about how much clothes you wear. It's very little.
We wear what we need.
It's a lot of body for little clothes. Anyways, I saw things in the Elven library, and the smith, he was making this ring. It was there. It was being made for this Elven princess. Is that the right word? And I saw it. Every owner that has ever had the ring, I watched them die.
You watched the owners of the ring die?
Each and every time. It was like I was living the history of this ring. I was there. I seen it.
Okay.
Oh, and there was this creepy fella who was also there in the making of all of these rings. But I don't think this is the only one. I think they was making lots of rings. The forge, it was fancy. It was what was that place called? And I slide a piece of paper over to Elvornith.
Yes, he's made quite a few magnificent artifacts.
Like this one. Like this ring, he made it. Do you know how old this thing is?
Older than I am.
Precisely, which is why we cannot keep it. We have to take it back to the elves.
Well, I mean, that's what I was saying.
We shouldn't have taken it to begin with.
So it was supposed to end up in the hands of a woman. It doesn't, a human doesn't even belong to her know-how. Haunted by a wraith, I say, we pack our things, we prep for the journey, and we take it to the elves and put it on them. They made it. They'll know what to do with it. The longer we keep it, the more we're in danger, and the more everybody else here is in danger.
Okay, I will take you to Rivendell.
I say we pack a few bags. We're gonna need some food supplies. Really, I'm afraid you're gonna have to skip a couple breakfasts.
Yeah, you see, about that, I don't think I'm going.
You're not going with us?
I don't think I can.
What do you mean you can't? All you gotta do is get on the horse and follow us.
Yeah, and get gutted or trampled or poisoned or starved or just chased by a wraith. The thing that we caught, that ring, is cursed.
What happened to the brave Willie who snuck through the woods to steal this here ring?
Hopeful. I don't.
Okay, Willie, what you gonna do when we leave?
I'm gonna go back home. And
well, you won't be fixing Bilbo's fence anymore because I'm not there to break it.
No, but there's other fences that need to be worked on, or maybe I'll start building a library for when you come back. You can share all your stories in there. But you have seen so many things. You've experienced so many things. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't like. Looking back, the thing with the troll, that wasn't brave. That was foolish. That's a straight down foolish. I could have died. I could have brought the thing to you and have it just eaten you in whole in one bite.
Really? Are you gonna live your whole life on a coulda?
Oh no, but Look at all the people that got injured because of an action that I took. Innocent people, even Norway.
Really?
Nobody
it wasn't
deserved
because
that.
of the action that you took. That woman was carrying a ring. It was bound to happen anyways. We stumbled across it at the inn. It had already happened. You can't take the weight of the world on your shoulders if you're not even going to go out and see it.
Glowfrom, Willie.
Yep.
You may want to split up.
Cool.
I've heard that someone has spread rumors about a fiery redhead and a thieving hobbit companion.
Oh, well, that seems suspicious.
Yeah, how unfortunate for such a cruel rumor to be spread.
Yes, well, unfortunately, the Reeve has sent some men out looking around where we are staying. I would not be seen together if I were you. Perhaps making your way directly out of town is probably a wise decision.
Well, we was going to do that anyways. We could leave today. It just means we may have to camp nearby.
You hear footsteps coming up behind you. They seem to be heavier. Definitely not a dwarf or a hobbit, and way too noisy to be an elf.
I immediately throw my hood up to try to hide some of my hair. And since I'm kind of hiding, I've got my horse, right? So I squat to make it look like maybe I'm looking for something in the horse's shoe, or I tried to put the horse between me and this person so they can't quickly identify me.
Pardon me.
Nope, nothing here to look at, sir. Just checking a rock in me horse's hoof.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was wondering if you perhaps knew of an elf by the name of Haleth. I was told that she'd be around these parts with a red-headed dwarf.
You're staring at a behemoth of a man, 6 foot something, 300 plus pounds, round belly, thick thighs and calves, big hands. He's got a massively braided beard, long hair that's kind of braided as well and pulled back. And he...
I'm so sorry, sir. I must have been mistaken. There may, in fact, be one red-haired dwarf around these parts.
Glowfrom is already re-changing the song to Narvig to say this new mystery man's name.
Not because I'm concerned at all, but dare I ask what business you have with an elf in Bree, sir? Big, strong man?
My business is my own, but I wanted to pass on a message.
I'm sorry.
For what?
Think a coward?
Oh, really?
Witherhead of the Shire. You are one of the bravest hobbits I have ever encountered. And I lean in closer and I whisper, and I've met Bilbo Baggins.
The tips of his ears kind of redden with blush,
You're not a coward. Do you think I'd be best friends with a coward?
You seem to be best friends with a stranger. Points up to the big old
Well,
guy.
we're not best friends yet. We're working on it, but
I just feel bad. I know you're going to be going off into dangers. Things that I can't even imagine. Things from nightmares. And I just want you to be safe. But I think I'd be more of a hindrance than I would be of a help.
You've never been a hindrance in my life. But I can't tell you to stay. And it's okay to go home sometimes, really. Isn't that right, Solheim?
Yes, I have spent many years on the seas, and it is now time for me to go home. Start a life. I may not know you. This is very kind and certainly interesting to meet a creature of your stature, but whatever is going on, to walk away from danger is sometimes the wisest thing one can do. You live to see another day. You live to help another soul.
I left you waiting for you. Goodbye, friends.
Bye, Wheelie.
Biwa.
And Willie departs. Elverneth, Glofrim, Solheim to a degree, watches Willie. The outro music from the Incredible Hulk movie plays. Sad, walking away soundtrack as he returns towards Bree. Or at least to skirt around the edges of Bree, perhaps. We see the camera follow Willie. We see from over his shoulder, Elverneth, Glofrim, and Solheim begin to set off the boisterous, booming voice of Solheim beginning to spin a tale as Willie makes his way back to Bree with an occasional glance over his shoulder to watch his friends depart into the distance. And the last thing we see as Willie skirts the edges of the town are plastered on the wall of the palisade is a wanted poster that looks incredibly similar to a wanted poster for one dwarf named Gror. Except where you would expect to see the name Gror, you see the name Glofrim and the picture of Glofrim. And a young 10, 11-year-old boy has a bucket and a stack of papers under one arm. You see him slap it against one of the pegs on the wooden beam, pull out a paintbrush and slather it with glue. He moves another 10 feet, slaps another one on, slathers it with glue. As there are now wanted posters in and around the town of Bree for Glofrim, the dwarf. Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. Holy shit, everyone's in the right spot. I forgot to do cameras, and it just turned on to be that way.
That would be you. Good job.
Success. Pro streams. God damn. We're doing it, baby. It looks like the stream is working for everybody, which is great because it hasn't worked in weeks. So... oh, just, it's not like it's my income. Anyway, that's it. We're back. This is episode 21 of Shattered Crown. And as always, if you guys like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is over on our Patreon. Link for that in the description down below. While you're down there, click on that Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I unleash chaotic, dark, evil nonsense on these players, and two, or in the case of the most recent corruption bar, chaotic, horny nonsense on these players, and that's their own fault. And number two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful, amazing people that you see here before you. And without further ado, let's jump in. Let's jump on in, everybody. We have a new member of the company, one Solheim, and Willie has left to return to the Shire, to Hobbiton, to mend fences, both literal and physical, or both metaphysical, and either one, metaphorical. And we have Glofrim, who's a hardened criminal, who's on posters all around Bree. And we have Elverneth, who is just doing her best to keep some semblance of order with this chaotic goblin party. Hopefully Daddy Solheim will help out in that regard. So last we left our intrepid band of heroes, you were in the Chetwood outside of the town of Bree, where you had met with Solheim, you had parted with Willie, and you were making your plans and preparations to finally head down the Great East Road towards Rivendell.
Mm-hmm.
So, I turn things over to you guys. Willie has just left. He has just completely gone out of your vision. You are technically, at least one of you is technically on the run. What are you all doing to set out?
Wolfram has no idea she is on the run. She's like, other than like some people might be looking for her, how about this? She does not know she's on the run.
Elverneth told you.
Yeah.
That's why we snuck out of town.
That there were posters in town?
Yeah.
None of you saw the posters, but Elverneth told you that she heard people looking for you, and that those people had gone to...
looking for me.
Yeah, but they'd gone to, like, the town master to have him, like, find you.
Wolfram's not concerned.
Which means that...
I guess I'll rephrase
likely
that.
there are posters for you.
Yeah. So
Wolfram's never wanted. She has no idea how that... But great. It was nighttime, yes? It was the evening when we came out here.
Yes.
Because we snuck out of town.
Yes.
Okay, well, I say we don't stand on ceremony. Let's get these ponies moving to somewhere where we can kick our boots off for the night, if you know what I'm saying. Unless we plan on traveling the road at night.
I think perhaps that is a bad idea.
I would agree entirely. Well, what do I know is up ahead? Well, we're traveling east, yeah.
What's the furthest east Glowfram's ever been?
Well, I mean, she's been to the mountain. She's, let's see. I would say
to the Lonely Mountain.
Yes.
Okay.
Because she would have gone when her father resettled, but she didn't stay. So I've traveled a bit. That's the whole point. I don't know, I've been on the road 20 or so years. Annual cycles, if you would.
Okay. I mean, so you know all the general things, right? You know, the Great East Road heads all the way towards the High Pass. You can go south down the river Bruinen, down to the west gate to enter Moria.
Weren't we looking for somebody?
So Mr. Solheim is looking for somebody.
That's it.
Yes.
You. I point at him. You. Who is you looking for?
Alson.
Right.
Yes.
And you know where she is?
Yes. We are going to Weathertop.
Oh,
they are having
well, there we go. We have a direction. Then I set out east. I kicked the pony. Let's do it. What are we waiting for? We're going to Rivendell.
Hey, sorry.
Haleth. Right, I knew that. I wrote it in my book so I wouldn't forget it.
Yeah.
Do you know I'm keeping a book? Well, mini books, if truth be told, before I get old and die, if you know what I mean. An entire collection written by me. All about the lost histories, of Middle Earth.
Pause for 1 second, Dot. Just for everyone watching live and in the show later on, if it looks like Dot is talking over everyone, she's actually not. She just has spotty connection, and so she's coming in via satellite. You always come in.
Wait, am I lagging? You have to.
You come in at the
say
last few words of
something.
someone else saying something, or you start your sentence just as someone else begins to talk because you're coming in just out of sync with the rest of us.
It's not you, it's the internet connection.
You're fine.
It's the computer's fault. There's nothing you can do. Don't fuck with the settings.
Should I do a reset?
No, don't do
No.
anything. It's
You're
just
good.
the storm coming in. We know this in the production side. We're just letting chat know you're not being an asshole. We know.
Every time I see someone open their mouth, you catch up and you start going. Oh, Christ. That was good. Okay.
No, she's frozen.
That was
What a
cute.
day! We haven't been able to stream in weeks because of the goddamn program I'm using is broken, and now we get back and Dot is a slideshow. Oh, Christ on a cracker. All right. While Dot gets her shit together, Elverneth and Solheim, what are you two doing?
We're going to be headed east, just a little bit further into the forest to a place I know we can camp safely away from the road. In the morning, we'll head out.
Okay.
Continuing east towards Weathertop.
Okay. You know that it is about a 4-day journey from where you are to Weathertop. And you're far enough into the Chetwood that and you're familiar enough with the area, Elverneth, that you know basically where the camp was that you met the elves after you were returning back towards the caravan. So you know that's a safe enough area, and all of the debris on the ground has been trodden down, so it's all nice and soft and easily sleepable. So you guys kind of redirect there, and since Elverneth, you're the only person that's been there, you redirect the entire party there. Solheim and Glowfram there for the first time, not knowing any significance to this place at all, other than the fact that that's where you guided them. You can see that, like I said, the ground is all matted down and soft, and it is a fine place to spend the night. While you guys set up camp, I do have a question for you. We have had a bit of a company restructure here, but in the traveling company, there are certain roles for the journey. The guide, who is in charge of all decisions concerning route, rest, and supplies. The hunter, who is in charge of finding food in the wild. The lookout, who is in charge of keeping watch. And the scout, who is in charge of setting up camp and opening new trails. Currently, we have the travel guide, the guide who uses travel as Glowfram, the hunter who uses hunting as Elverneth, and we are missing a lookout and a scout. Lookout uses awareness and scout uses explore. So Solheim, which of these do you think you would fit into?
Let's see. Not. What were the skill stats?
Awareness or explore?
Oh man, I have nothing in either of those.
Elverneth is good at multiple things and can move hers around. So, are you good at hunting?
Yes.
Okay, so you'll take hunting, I believe it was, or
Hunter,
whatever
yep.
that one was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
that
then,
might be the better role.
Yeah, and then I can take the one. Sorry, and there it is.
I don't know if it's better, but I hope it is.
Well, we can
So
certainly
far.
hear you.
Well, then let me just cut my video. Am I lagging
Yeah, you're still lagging with audio.
a whole lot?
Yeah, I think it's just the internet.
Yeah, it is.
It's not you. It's not your system.
Awareness, I think you said.
I'll fade out
Thurs.
for you, boys. While
Yeah.
you
Yeah, is that
because
lookout?
I've got 3 dots in travel and arc.
Yeah, you're still the travel person, Glowfram.
Yeah, Glowfram's got to stay the guide.
Yeah, I think you're the only person with that many points in travel. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure we added Solheim in there, not for anything, any reason. Cool. Yeah,
If we need to also have a scout, I can also do scout duties.
I'll throw you in there. Why not? You can have multiple roles. Save changes. Okay, cool. So you guys are very easily able to bed down for the night. There's nothing currently hunting you that you know about. These woods are pretty tame, at least at this area here. Is there anything you all are doing at the end of the night? It's been a bit of an eventful couple days. Even the rest you had in Bree was short-lived. Is there anything you all are doing before you set out to Weathertop the next morning?
I think with the shift, right, from Willie to Solheim, Willie often probably had to be told to do things or would wander off and forget to do things, whereas Solheim like understands what being in the wilderness is and takes whatever his role in a group very seriously. So he is already like he disappears for 10 minutes and returns with like big things of firewood and maybe like has already found some berries and some leaves that they can use to like make a tea or something. He's already assisting actually setting up camp.
Okay. Elverneth?
She's also just kind of going about setting up camp. She kind of went to automatically start doing the various chores. And one would think that traveling with Willie, she would expect to have to tell Solheim, but she has also traveled with a lot of different people in her day. And she understands that everyone is different. Sees the fact that Solheim just starts going off and doing camping chores. She kind of goes to her own things and takes those pieces of wood and start the fire and starts getting some food cooking for the evening's meal. While I do that, I'm also going to take some time and inspect the pipe that Willie left me. Just because he gave it to me and he was like, if you smoke it, you'll be able to tell more stuff about things. And I'm like, what? So Elverneth is gonna take some time to get to know the pipe.
Okay. Noam, what does the pipe do?
The pipe mechanically, I think, just gave a bonus to insight. I'm pretty sure, for insight rolls. So if you're actively using it, you got a bonus to insight. And then the lamp was a bonus to scan.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So the pipe itself is probably an heirloom pipe, beautifully carved in Hobbit style, very homestead style, very folky. Probably has like leaves etched around it, and then the shire weed is like this is the good stuff. This is the stuff that you only bring out. Like, you don't let your relatives smoke this. This is like, you bring this out amongst like your best of friends at like somebody's wedding or something. This is like prized.
It's old Toby from the South Farthing.
Yeah, there you go.
That good.
Perfect. Good. Yeah, it is sticky icky good. It is the good stuff.
It's the purple kind.
Yeah. The ferns on it just look
stunning. God. What a time. Okay, so you're setting up camp together. You're looking at the pipe. Glowfrom, welcome back. What are you doing as the other two set up camp?
How about this? Let's do a check. How do I sound and look?
So far, so good.
Yeah. So far, so good.
Okay, we're on a hot spot, but it seems to be doing better than the actual internet. So, what am I doing? What are we doing? The last thing I heard, we had kind of found a safe place to camp.
Correct. You are setting.
We're getting camp ready.
Cool. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? If we're smoking, I have a pipe. I'll take out a pipe and we can just pass pipes around and set up our sleeping beds and roll them out. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to interview you. Jesus Christ. So tell me, as I break my book out, a little bit about yourself. You said You're moving into retirement, which means I imagine you've got lots of stories.
Me. Oh,
Oh,
well.
yes.
Um, I mean, I suppose, retirement at my age is very common and expected. It's nothing glamorous, I would say. Just retirement, new career, settle
But
down, find me a family to make, and
would you say what you did before retirement was worthy of, you know, something not so basic?
oh, there are men before me who have been doing what I've been doing for many of
What were
years.
you doing then?
Well, I worked on the sea. I was a fisher.
What kind of fish did you catch? Like
Insert
big fish?
fish known to,
Mobs. Oh, like, I guess I'm
big
asking,
fin
was it
fish and
so, like, in size? Just tell me when to stop.
oh, the biggest ones that we could find, some tuna and marlin and whatever's out there on the deep sea.
And big, scary, monstrous ones you fought.
Well, we would come across those occasionally, but not too often. A
And let me guess,
tempest.
you was very brave in slaying it.
I did my duty as any good barding would do.
I'm just like, right.
He is not picking up what you're putting down. That he should be like
That's all right.
exacerbating his
This
tales
is
here.
what I do for you. I just need the good, okay. Would you say that you've seen some things?
Oh, seen a lot of things, yes.
Horrible things?
Horrible things and horrible men.
Oh, horrible men, that's good. What, what else?
I mean,
What about, oh, I know. What about this scar? How'd you get it?
Oh, this scar? Well,
Yeah, if it's not too personal, I don't mean to pushy.
Oh, I ran into the kitchen table when I was very young. Nearly lost my eye.
Okay.
I think Alfred just kind of loses it and actually like snorts while she's like toasting bread.
He's being as earnest and honest as possible.
You would say you've had it, from a young age, maybe, like birth. What about, that scar? What about that one? Not all of them can come from furniture.
Well, when you grow up with 6 older brothers, you are intended for a bunch of injury.
Were you the youngest?
I'm actually the middle. I think I put down the middle.
Oh. I think I wrote down the middle. So,
I wrote it. I don't think I wrote him as the youngest.
No, okay, I'm going to write you as youngest because that's more interesting. 6 brothers, the runt of the litter. I love this. Keep going.
Oh, but I'm not the
not
runt.
That you're small by any means. Somebody fed you,
Right, I have a youngest sister.
Oh, yes, okay, the damsel sister. Yeah. Or is she more like the warrior type? Taught you how to fight with a sword? Oh, I like that better. Scratching that out.
She's very good with a sword.
Yes, love this. Brothers, they denied you the opportunity to learn because she was the runt of the litter, and your sister stepped up in the dark of night and taught you how to wield steel. I love this.
Well, I don't think it happened that way. we
Well,
made
I mean,
sure
that's what
that
I
we're
heard. Is that
all-
not what you heard?
er,
California. That's what I heard. It. Did you hear it? I really think if we find the right, section in here, something about the rage and sea, steel of the sister. I don't know. It's in there somewhere. And if I get the lyrics just right, you know what I mean? We've got a serious ballad on our hands. I actually have to replace a ballad, so I'm looking to refill my repertoire. The last one that I wrote turned into more like a breakup song.
well, I mean, it's very kind of you to think about writing a ballad about my sister. She is good with a blade, but is mighty fine with raising horses. It's what she ended up deciding to do.
Oh, I love this. Something about a steed, something about the heart. A steed.
Without
Okay.
actually turning from the fire, Elverneth says, I think this is a good learning experience to remember that not all songs you hear are true, though they may have some crumb of truth to them in the purest, most literal form of taking them. She continues cooking.
I'm just saying, some things deserve to be put into legend. And what kind of writer, would I be if I wasn't writing down stories about the great people I meet along the road? And you, sir, are one of them.
Well, I would not consider myself great, but if you are looking for a story to tell it of my captain who went down with the ship and all the crew
Oh,
on the river. I cannot
no
remember the
pain.
captain's name, Michael.
Hold on, let me pull up your backstory for you. Give me
I
a
don't
minute.
fucking remember the
Your
captain's
actual
name. You made that,
backstory.
Mike. We made that shit up on the spot.
Let me
Fucking
pull
know the
up
name of the
let me pull up the
captain.
backstory that you wrote. Hold on, give me a second
Captain.
here. Fucking Christ.
Fucking captain. Just a captain.
Worst person ever.
Look, Soheim, I'm going to be honest with you. I plan to write all your stories down. My hope is that Elavornith will see what an easy process it is. So one day, when she trusts me more, she'll open up a little bit about some of those Elven stories. Do you know how old she is? You want to guess? Let's play a guessing game. Oh, let's turn it into a drinking game.
I do
Oh, a pipe
enjoy a good
smoking
drinking
game.
game.
Oh, no, we're smoking pipes. Let's do it on the pipes.
Oh, I have not
Puff
had
for
a
every time you
pipe in
guess
a
it
long
wrong. Oh,
time.
or there you go.
All right.
Go on. How old do you think she is?
How old do I think the elf is?
Well, yes.
Old enough to know to hold my tongue.
Oh, come on. It's all in fun. Because here's the thing. Elavornith has more stories, I bet, than any person we'll meet on the road. Elf, dwarf, or human. But Elavornith it hasn't quite opened up to me yet. So I wanted to show her how easy it is to talk to Glowfrom to get your stories written down. Turn into song, legend, tale told around the fire.
For the first time, Elverneth kind of turns a little bit. She doesn't actually turn all the way. She just kind of shifts her weight as she's like squatting near the fire, and she says, "You know, has it occurred to you that perhaps I don't want songs written about my exploits because I am still here?"
But if I don't write them now, then what's going to be there when you're not? They only pass into legend if they was there beforehand. Or what? Are you going to write it all down and leave it to me? Because I'll take that as well.
Perhaps my story is not one that's meant to be told.
Oh, a sad tale of secret. See, now I'm more intrigued. See, I believe knowledge is greater than any treasure. The truth of the matter, no matter how much I stretch it on paper. I don't want gold and jewels. I don't even want retirement. Technically, I want to work till my legs fall off, or at least walk this place. Knowledge is endless value. An Ale of Warneth has seen more years than I'll ever see, even as a dwarf, which I am in my prime. But I believe those things shouldn't be lost, even if they are secret. It's the only way we learn from our mistakes. We pass on to the next generation of people so they can be better, than us.
I
So I'm
wish
just
you were
saying.
heading south. You could have come and met somebody who is very old and very wise. And he takes a
Who?
big hit from the pipe.
Who? I lean in.
Oh, we have a friend named Grey Haim, who's very wise and has been all over the world. Knows a good
Wait.
story or two.
Are you talking about the Grey Wizard?
Wait, about the what?
The Grey Wizard.
The Grey, some might call him the Grey Wizard, also known as Old Greybeard.
Gandalf,
I know him
listen.
as Grey Haim.
So I don't know how old you actually are. I know you're going into retirement and all that, but take it, from a dwarf who's lived quite a while around these parts. You can't trust a wizard.
I don't believe that. Or trust this man with my life. I already have.
My kin trusted them with their lives.
Who are your kin?
Anyways, it don't matter. They're not round no more. At least not the majority of them. The fact of the matter is,
Hello,
Greybeard.
You are very enthusiastic to share other stories. Perhaps it is time for you to share yours.
Well, I'm sure since you've been around so long, you all heard about them there dwarves that went all the way to the Lonely Mountain. Every time a wizard shows up, trouble follows him, no matter what he has to say. He led them back into that mountain, and he knew it wasn't going to end in good, and he did it for the dragon. I don't trust wizards. They've never given me any reason to. And it was all done, and our king was gone, and our people not any more found than they were before we reclaimed some mountain from a dragon. Bye-bye, Gandalf. Maybe he was south hanging with the lots of you. But Gandalf comes through like a typhoon, a wind, a raging sea crashing and taking out everything in its path. Gandalf the Grey brings news of bad tidings, and in his wake is always death. Always. That being said, you can trust the wizard all you want. I have no interest in writing his stories.
Well, if you travel with me, it's likely you're going to be part of his stories. He's the one that gave me the
I thought you
letter.
was retiring. Wait, we are taking a letter from Gandalf.
Yes.
Could you have led with that? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I would have left you back in Bree in that alleyway, no matter how ruggedly old and handsome you are.
Look, I understand that you might have your feelings about what happened to the mountain and the dragon. I was there. Please don't forget. This was only a couple of years ago.
You was there. You watched it.
It
Burned your
decimated
town.
my
You-
city. I lost
you still think it
cousins
was a
and
good
other family
idea?
members.
That Gandalf the Grey led them dwarves into that mountain then? Couldn't he have just let that dragon sleep?
And wait for another century or two for more people to come and settle the land and be destroyed inevitably? Maybe. But instead, what happened is Dale was decimated, and we were able to rebuild into something more prosperous.
Yes, and well, does Grofram know that? I don't know that piece. You're right. Above table, Gandalf wasn't there when they went into the mountain. He failed to make it in time, which was the one thing he needed to be there for. So don't even come at me and tell me that Gandalf had his business together. He showed up smoking his old Toby, flirting with dwarves, handing off keys he didn't even understand. Then just disappeared right before they needed to go back into the mountain with the cursed gem, which of course he knew about. He wants to know why. Because he's been around as long as Celeborn.
I mean, technically, the company, Thorin's company, also knew about the gem. It's a very famous dwarven gem. They knew it was a bad idea. They also knew about the dragon.
Here's the thing. We all knew about it. We had spent years in the Blue Mountains, building back up, trying really hard to start over. Something new, not tainted by the shadows of the past. And it was Gandalf's poking and little meetings in the Shire that rekindled a flame that should have long burned out. A mistake we could have learned from. He made everybody think it was some great idea to go knocking on our home. It's not a home. It's a tomb for the past. And it should have stayed that way. And instead we knocked it back open. And all we did was regain the amount of greed we had to begin with, simply because we had to go back to something that deserved to be written to history and live that way. Gandalf the Grey brings bad tidings everywhere he goes. And I bet you this letter, there's going to be a mix-up. Just you wait, shenanigans on the horizon. This letter isn't just like, oh, hey, friend. Just wanted to check in on you and make sure you were still doing all right. Want to meet up for bread and cheese one afternoon at High? No, that's not what it's going to be. That's not what it's going to be. Just you wait. Just you wait.
You want me to disregard this letter on the old history of dwarves who were craving power and gold, when in turn, though something very serious and very negative occurred, something great came from it as well. My people prosper. They thrive with life now. There is something for everybody. Dale has never been a greater kingdom.
I'm not saying that we haven't made the best of the situation. But everything that happened there started because Gandalf the Grey called a meeting of dwarves in the Shire. It started with him. A burning ember only needs one piece of paper to turn into a fire. Gandalf the Grey was that piece of paper. Just like that piece of paper. Telling you I don't want to know what's on it. I don't want to read it. We'll just deliver it.
That is all that we need to do. It is a task that was burdened upon me, and I swore my life to it. I would deliver
And I'm
this
only here
message
now,
and
you
then
know, because I
retire.
like you. Yeah, I like you. There's something about you. It's genuine.
Well, you're quite likable too. I enjoy your spirit. You are passionate. Passion is good in this world. when so much
Ugh.
darkness seems to be overcoming it.
Wait, Elborn, did you know this letter was from Gandalf?
No.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I needed to make sure I wasn't completely blind and it was just one of those things like I forgot again, when I had a
Glowfrom.
public breakup and whatnot. Like I just needed to make sure.
Glowfrom.
Mm-hmm.
I think I need you to remember that you were the one who picked up our new friend.
I know.
I know nothing
know.
about him except for what he's revealed in front of me and you.
And your shared mutual contact.
Just because we know the same person does not mean we know each other.
Oh no, you're not guilty at all. You, Elebornith, I definitely like. I trust you. I've trusted all your friends. You've been good. You sing beautiful. I'm here for it. I like you. I can trust you. I don't know if I can trust friends of Gandalf the Great. No offense, Solheim.
None taken.
Then
I've
I
only
hate
known you
it.
for a few hours.
I hate you, Mike.
Wait,
I hate you.
wait. I'm sorry. You can't trust friends of Gandalf.
Hold on. Wait.
Okay, thank
Stop.
you. Thank
Stop.
you.
Stop.
Go,
Let me talk, okay? I've
go,
been
go.
having a hard time getting any fucking time, anything in. If you do not like Friends of Gandalf, perhaps you may think better of going to Rivendell with me.
I'm not going to Rivendell for friends. I'm going to deliver something.
Similarly to Solheim's letter.
Similarly, but I sure enough didn't get it off Gandalf the Grey. But I genuinely believe, regardless, both the letter and the nondescript tiny item we carry all deserve to go exactly where they belong. And after everything I experienced, I can tell you that small, indescript, tiny metal object definitely does not belong to the person that was carrying it. It doesn't belong to me, neither. And it needs to be taken to the
However,
right person
you were the one who swallowed it.
for safekeeping, so that I could make it back home. It's an nondescript item. Don't worry about it, Solheim. It's a long story.
Remembering
but it
what I
worked.
do of the stories you've told of your people in that mountain, I find it very interesting that you blame Gandalf. However, Gandalf was not present when your relatives decided against Gandalf's advisement to go into the mountain. You also decided very impulsively to swallow said object. Perhaps that this would follow that maybe it is not the involvement of Gandalf, but the impulsivity of the decisions of your family that have made the things that have made the events turn out the way they are.
So you're saying had the dwarves just been left to it in the Blue Mountains, that dragon would have woke up on its own, done exactly what it did, and started a war out front of that mountain. Gandalf the Grey asked my people, gave them the tools to do it, regardless of their impulsive actions, which I will not deny. We're dwarves. Welcome to the world of dwarves. But Gandalf the Grey lit the fire. He brought them together. He put the idea in their heads. He could have just left us alone.
Perhaps he was giving you back what he felt was
regardless
yours.
of our differentiations, it was never ours. And we've learned that the hard way over and over again. That being said, it's why I don't live with them. It's why I didn't go back. That being said, regardless of our feelings on Gandalf the Grey or my impulsive family, I don't want to work for him. I will help this gentleman because he's been nothing but such. And I don't think he meant anything by not telling me, because how was you supposed to know I don't like Gandalf the Grey? But I don't want my fate intertwined with his in any way. And my want to return the ring comes from an entirely good place. I would think that you would want your family to have something that actually does belong to them back. And if I've got to swallow the damn thing to get it back there, I'll do it over and over again. Why?
Please
Because
don't.
it's my peace offering. It's my only chance to get to stare at somebody like Elrond and get an opportunity to see something that I ain't never going to get to see because of the mistakes of my family. A chance to share what you have with the rest of the world, and vice versa. Our secrets for yours, no longer secrets, but shared opportunity. I'm not going to say my people haven't messed up, but I'm not here on any malice or to get anything out of it that is going to put gold in my pocket or take from your people. I'm just trying to return it. And that has nothing to do with Gandalf the Grey. So, Solheim, if you'd like to join us, we're going to, Ravendale. You can come all the way with us if you want, and then you could retire after. Just a little extra. Have you ever seen it?
No, I can't say that I've seen or been to Rivendell. Aren't the places of those elves quite hidden for man?
Ooh. Tell him, Elborn. Tell him.
I'm sorry. The words that you just said did not register as words in my head.
Oh, that's okay. I said, tell him. Tell him who you are, or at least, tell him. This is good.
I'm just going home.
Well,
Home.
what a mate.
Ravendale is home.
Okay,
We get to go home with an elf. That's amazing. That's one of the greatest things that's probably ever going to happen in my life.
I don't mean to be rude. However, I was not actually expecting you to be invited to go all the way to Rivendell with us. At least not for some time, because we have just met today.
I understand. We will make our journey to Weathertop to find Haleth. I will deliver my letter, and we would part our ways, and I will head north to home, and you to Rivendell. What a glorious journey that will be.
Indeed.
And Madam Dwarf, I apologize. I did not mean to stir feelings from the deep about the old grey man.
Oh, that's all right. I have really deep feelings. It's true. Lots of them, in fact. They're rather large for my small body, but well, somewhat small body, if you know what I mean. But I appreciate that consideration, and like I said, I don't hold it against you. I don't believe you meant any malice by it.
No malice meant.
So I definitely
Shall
don't
we
want
smoke
to read
to
the
that?
letter. Oh, I
You don't
smoke to
want to read
that.
the letter?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
mean,
I don't. We'll smoke to it though.
okay. I figure it'd be safer to not know what is on the letter, which is why I too have not opened it.
And with that, drama, storytelling, and interview. That's where we end tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
That ends right now, bitch. I looked at the time and was like, wait a second. What the fuck are you doing, Mike? We got like another hour. What the fuck is this shit?
You all you all drift off to some level of sleep for the evening. Prepared to leave bright and early in the morrow for a several-day journey to Weathertop, where I believe that is where Elverneth has indicated that Haleth would be, so you can complete your quest, Solheim. So without further ado, unless anyone has anything to do at night, we'll do a little jump cut to the morning as you are breaking camp and preparing to head out to Weathertop. And what I will need is to employ some of the rules for this game, because, you know, what's a game without some rules? Company
Rules?
guide. Yeah, you know, the last thing we do here. The company guide. One, Glowfrom. I need a travel roll from you.
Just waiting on roll 20 to rejoin me.
All right.
Okay, travel roll. Here we go. Incoming. Okay. Sweet
Perfect.
success.
Cool. So, as a little bit of how-to in this game, when you travel for a certain number of days, like you're not going to travel for one day, but when you're taking a bit of a journey, there are rules for the journey. That start off with the company's guide making a travel roll, and if that roll succeeds, then there will be an event at X number of hexes away on the special GM map. On the failure, there'll be an event 1 hex away. And then once you have the event, you re-roll again to see how many events there are. The events can make you weary and tired, and they could be combat, they could be friendly, they could be all kinds. They can get you shadow points, they could be all kinds of things. But you succeeded greatly. So, it's a relatively easy journey. Assuming that you all are staying near, if not on, the Great East Road, it's a pretty straightforward journey to Weathertop. It will take you 4 days to get from the Chetwood to Weathertop. So there's nothing particular that you guys are doing as you journey. I imagine there is food shared, some pipeweed shared, any goods that you may have. I know that food was procured. It's a relatively simple journey. You do meet passers-by on the road, people traveling from the Angle, various hamlets that dot the countryside, both to the north and south, headed for trade in Bree, headed for parts unknown, perhaps a small caravan headed to the Blue Mountains. But you do see travelers, passers-by, merchants, etc. You do not spot any Rangers of the North, any elves, and you may have passed by a dwarf or two in a caravan, but nothing of import. No one stops to tell you anything insanely interesting or fortuitous. So I'll turn it to you guys. Is there anything that you would be doing on these days of travel before you get to Weathertop?
Elverneth would be trying to kind of get a bit more of an idea of who. Shit, what's your name again?
Solheim.
Solheim. Can you put your name in your character window, please? Because you changed characters and now I have to relearn your name. Elverneth just tries to kind of get to know Solheim a little bit more. At least surface level stuff. Things like who was your favorite sibling, and What were the things that you liked to do when you had rainy days where you were and like silly things like that?
Yeah, he would give up that information pretty freely. He had had 6 brothers and 1 sister, and very fortunate that all of them survived the ash and fire of smog. My parents are alive and my grandparents are alive. Very fortunate in that case. It's a very big family, and I left them soon after uh, the terror of smog was ended to head to the seas. And my brother grew up to be something of a constable, and another one is a taxman, and another is a guard. And as I said, my sister, became a horse breeder, and our family is doing pretty well and prospering. And I send them letters every so often while I'm at sea, and to keep up as best we can. Um, yeah, I could quite enjoyed a very simple life, living in Dale. Things were quite disastrous when, you know, or a bit more destitute uh, before, before Adele became the glory state that it is now. And well, I quite enjoy. Um, I always enjoyed fishing, so and then on the colder nights when everybody else would be sleeping and I was a bit homesick, I would get on the boat and go ahead and start through, cast over a simple rod and a worm and see if I could catch some small surface fish, and that was kind of my calling from there.
What a wide variety of life you've led.
It's been a good life. I have met many great people and have seen many places that many others won't ever have a chance to see, especially if they stay up north. So I consider myself very lucky. I have been able to meet kings and queens and um, befriend old wizards, and um, now it is time for me to do one last task and return home. I certainly would love to know more about you. I understand I am a stranger, but um, even out on the sea, I don't get to meet elves very often.
That's fair. We don't often go out in boats except for one specific journey. I'm Elverneth. I grew up in Rivendell, and I have been spending a very long time taking care of a line of Dunedain rangers. However, my charge recently left. I find that in absence of a charge, I have taken on, well, friendship. Though Glofrim and I tend to butt heads on occasion. I
As
do
any
find
good friend would do.
exactly. I do find her company quite wonderful. Exciting, if you will. Perhaps a little too exciting at times.
I'm an excitable person.
Very excitable indeed.
Would you rather have yourself a hefty snoring dwarf, or would you rather have yourself a glow from? Bring a little light into everyone's day, eh?
I think you would do well on the high seas.
And, I have a bet going. You don't know this, Elevorian. I have a bet going with my cousin.
No.
Supposedly, dwarves and elves can't be friends. I'm going to prove him wrong.
I think because we are still traveling together and I am bringing you home to meet my family, that perhaps you have already won this.
Well, I have to get back and actually prove it to him. So you know what? A trade for a trade. One day I'll bring you home. Which really, you have quite a few choices. We could go to the Lonely Mountains. We could go all the way back to the Blue Mountains if you really wanted to. And I heard word that they're trying to, reclaim Moria. Another brilliant idea on the part of the dwarves. So you'll have like multiple options. I can bring you all kinds of places to meet, me kin. I can rub it in Gimli's face.
Who?
No, nobody special. At least not by my standard.
Okay.
Okay, he's me brother, all right, and we're twins. But I got all the looks, And he
have a twin.
Occasionally, when I want to accept that as truth. We don't really get along. Not in the way that you and I don't get along, more in like everybody believes Gimli is perfect.
Gimli.
He said it wouldn't be that hard to make friends with an elf. And I said, you know what? I'll beat you to it. And so I am. He is with Pa in the mountain, sitting on a heaping pile of gold, waiting for some... Hell if I know what he's waiting for. Anyways, Gimli's not important. I don't want to talk about him. Unless I got all the looks, at least. He can't grow a mustache. Not the way I can. It's a family truth.
Just kind of start breaking camp.
You want to see a picture of him? I really care to remind myself how luscious my mustache is.
Okay.
Okay. I reach down deep into my cleavage. I pull out a locket. And I crack it open. And on one side I point, this is my brother. It's not that special.
What
Just
a
an
wispy
average
mustache
basic
that
dwarf.
is.
Yes, well, he got all his styling from me. He don't tell nobody, but I'm the one that trims it, makes it look nice. He knows nothing about mustache maintenance. That being said, he hasn't even filled out, or nothing. He's scrawny. Anyways, that's Gimli, my twin brother. That nobody ever talks about because they only want to talk about me.
Glowfram.
Yup.
Is there anything you'd like to say about?
No. About Gimli? No, I have nothing to say about him. He's really not that special. He has no exceptional qualities. He's not really that great with an axe, if you know what I mean. And honestly, he's never worked a hard day in his life. I bet he can't even, break a stone with the proper axe motion. And he don't even make his own weapons. What dwarf don't make his own weapons? And then he'll walk around flashing it on his waistband, like, swashing out another kind of sword. He's not that special. Pa, he don't even act like I exist. Oh, about Gimli this. Oh, Gimli could come with us. Oh, Gimli, he rides a horse like no other dwarf does. Oh, Gimli's mustache and beard. So, I'm just saying.
Glowfram.
I decided that I could do it better on my own, so I left.
Glowfrom, might you be holding or swinging your axe around when you're talking all this familial shit?
No, she had the locket out. She was showing me a
No,
picture.
I had the locket in my hand. I mean, would you like me to swing my axe around? I can do it better than Gimli.
I mean, there was a lot of axe talk, and it was very animated, and I wasn't sure if you were.
Well,
perhaps
I don't carry an axe.
Sorry, you're matic.
My hammers are better than axes. Every dwarf knows that. Way more purposeful. Axes.
Right.
It's like a excuse to be a sword, but it's not really one, at least on one edge. Who likes axes anyways? Axes.
Well, then let me rephrase. Might you be swinging your hammer?
I might be, about my waist, touching it and swaying it a little bit, making sure everybody, sees how great my hammer is.
I feel like that took a turn.
You wanted it swinging, Mike. It's swinging.
It took a little bit of a shift away from
Mordor.
My hammer's,
Yeah. You. Oh Christ, criminy.
I'm not jealous of me brother, if that's what you're all thinking. Okay, I'm not jealous of Gimli. He's not that great.
No, absolutely no one thought you would be jealous.
But as somebody with many siblings, I might get the sense that you may miss your brother.
I don't. I came out of the womb first. Almost strangled him with my natural born mustache hairs. We was fighting coming out.
I didn't realize that female dwarves were so hairy at birth, or that they were birthed.
All dwarves are hairy. Oh no, you're not one of those that think we pop out of holes, are ya?
That's what the stories were told to me.
Oh no, you really think we pop out of holes in the ground?
I don't know many dwarves, to be fair.
I mean, Also, you've never met a female dwarf.
You are the first.
Oh, well, some would say I am the most unique as well. But yes, even female dwarves come out of the proper womb with, some facial hair. How else you know what color their hair is? Because we're bald elsewise. It's all in the face for a while till it, balances.
Sure. That is very impressive.
I mean, I guess it's just how it's always been. I mean, we don't even grab him by the feet and pull his beard first.
I can't say that I'm very familiar with the process of childbirthing, but...
Your sister doesn't have any littles?
No, she did not decide to marry a man. She's found herself a lovely little lady.
I've had my fair share of lady dwarf interactions. Sometimes you can't even tell the difference, in the dark, mustache to mustache. Really, sometimes it's more enjoyable. That being said, I might have hooked up with me brother's first girlfriend in jest. It was a joke. Worked out great for him. And her. If you know what I mean.
You're a bit of a scoundrel there, Glowfrom. I can respect
had me
that.
ways. They didn't really like me round, but I lived my life on the edge of the mountain, not in it, if you know what I mean. Elborn, you seemed shocked. You asked who my brother was, and I said I didn't want to talk about him, and I haven't talked about him.
I regret asking questions. And I
this is why I
continue
write stories,
breaking camp
not
and
share.
doing my best to avoid looking at Glowfrim.
Well, Solheim is bright, smiling right under his beard and just having a good old time with this. Glowfrim is very clearly the most interesting dwarf he has ever met in his entire life, and he's met some
Fucking
seafaring
rolling
dwarves,
over in
and
his
they're
grave
pretty
right now.
strange.
Glowfrim is the most interesting dwarf in the world.
Oh,
You
Barrett
know,
first, baby.
this took a turn, and I feel like I deserve this.
Yeah, how's Amon Sûl doing?
You know, you'd think that was the name of the episode, but you know, who knows? The point of my question, for fuck's sake, the point of my question, Glowfrim, is that as you have your
Yeah, I was swinging me hammer.
yeah, your Matic, as you have your Matic
Yeah.
out, or at least in hand, you notice something. You were just chiding your brother for not creating his own weapons, so I can only assume that you have crafted this Matic from the veins of the earth itself.
Probably, or at least upgraded it to some degree, but my really custom piece is my bodice. I have a custom Lady Dwarf bodice. That's the one I believe I actually put above table stats in to make special. I'll double check that for you though.
No, that's fine. Not important. You
Okay.
know this Matic back to front, tip to grip, and you notice that on the head of the Matic there are scratches. Scratches that any self-respecting dwarf would have taken care of the moment they noticed them, and yet you have not.
Wait, well, was that because maybe I was on a date trying to barf up a ring, or was that after I had my full breakdown where I had to write everything I had in a hallucinogenic dream where I was an elf? No, okay, it wasn't any of. Sorry, I haven't had time to really get one-on-one with me, Matic. So as I'm swinging about, not talking about my brother, I got. Oh no, me baby. She's been scarred. Look.
You look at this, and you inspect closely, and you see that it is not, in fact, scarred, and they are not, in fact, scratches. They are runes. They are dwarvish runes in Kuzdul.
Wait
Written
a
across
second.
the head of your Matic are the words Zirak Kazad, which translates...
Which means for all of us at home.
In Dwarvish, it translates to Spike of the Dwarves.
Oh, I've never noticed these runes before.
You have not.
I'm writing this one in purple.
Chat, that has some significance.
Well, since I crafted this, yeah, I didn't put runes on it. I didn't. I literally look at the truth. I didn't do that. Somebody's been messing with me hammer. But Spike of the Dwarves. Does that mean anything to me?
Ironically enough, it doesn't expressly mean anything to you. But as you are ranting and raving about family, previously about the woes of Gandalf, and particularly Gimli, son of Glory, you remember skirmishing with your brother and seeing him skirmish with others. And he has both carved and shouted the phrase Baruch Kazad, which means axe of the dwarves. In fact, a common battle cry of your brother, your little brother, is Baruch Kazad, Kazad Amenu, which is Axe of the dwarves, dwarves are upon you. That is his battle cry. And somehow, Spike of the Dwarves is written on your mattock.
See, I know I should have talked about him, because no matter what happens, Gimli always sticks his little house out of a hole, you know? Maybe it's a family thing. No, I left my family. They basically disown me. They don't want me around no more, so why?
You kind of bring your family everywhere you go, you know.
Well, you know,
Whether
try to
you-
leave them behind.
Well, you talk about them all the time. You possibly think about them all the time. You share
True.
who they are consistently.
Only when
So
asked.
whether or not you want them to, your family follows you everywhere you go. In your heart.
What if I don't want that? What if I don't? What if, as you pointed out, my family is like, you know, cursed? What if the great line of dwarves is really not great at all? Just bumbling idiots who make the same mistake over and over and over again, with the help of our families. I don't want to end up in a mountain.
So don't.
Well, I'm trying, but you know, it's all following me. It says Spike of the Dwarves. You know, in Dwarvish runes, which is similar to something Gimli says often when he's wielding his axe. I guess you could say it's kind of like a warrior, say a family saying, maybe. Maybe. Why do you think it's here? You've been around a long time. You ever seen this before? You know, runes just popping up on weapons?
DM, have I seen runes pop up on what?
You can roll me lore.
Okay.
Or not lore. What is it? Riddle?
But lore.
Oh, lore is one. Lore is one. You can roll me lore. Okay. Sorry, I forgot that lore was a skill. I thought it was, and then I immediately took it back.
Great success.
Great success.
Oh, yeah.
You have seen, you have not seen. You've heard manifestations of ancestral magic or something. It's kind of like passed down, like you know, based on like the teachings of the true history, that manifestations of the Valar can happen in any way. It's kind of a mystery. However, with a great success, you remember at the corner of your mind, as you were perhaps you were not quite paying attention exactly at the time. I believe you were still getting up. You do remember Glowfram with a physical weapon attacking a manifestation of the unseen world. Something that should not be possible. But you do recall a flash of light as Glowfram struck the Wraith.
Oh.
Right,
I
right.
forgot about that.
I also forgot about that.
I wrote down notes.
Ew.
Look at you taking notes.
So for you, your only thought is perhaps this is some sort of physical, like ancestral relation or something. You're not entirely sure. To Alway.
To where?
Alway. And Alway is the Valar, the Lord of the Earth.
Right.
Alway kindled the dwarves.
Maker. Who technically popped us out of holes in the
Who
ground.
technically popped you out of holes in the ground. Technically and literally molded you out of dirt.
Out of earth. But you know, nobody knows that now. What do you think, Glowfrom? Is she gonna make it?
Well, glow from, I perhaps this is a some sort of manifestation of the rather rare and mind-boggling act of you actually making contact with that wraith.
Oh, you mean when it went with the light? Oh,
Yes.
so what you think me hammer like named itself after smacking a wraith around?
In a way. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Um,
So but by physical touch of the other world, it's marked me hammer.
that's my guess. I'm not quite an expert.
Oh no,
You
is
may
it
get more.
bad?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
The fact that you were able to make contact with the wraith is quite magnificent.
Oh, you think me hammer like got better,
Perhaps
leveled up, if you would. I don't have a better term for it. But me hammer, it
somehow improved itself.
oh, I hug me hammer. I hug it. I hold my mattocks tight. I kiss it. Oh, you're very special. Yes, you are. I knew it the moment I started beating your metal.
Well,
I think we all just need to sit there in that one for a second. Let that
Oh,
marinate.
this is what I mean, Elvornith. You're so knowledgeable. You know things. Your feelings. You sang. Did I tell you? So she sung a wraith away. You ever seen a wraith? Literally freeze you down to your skin and bones. Ghostly it was. And Elvornith sang an elvish song and spoke it. Bye bye, Mr. Wraith.
Now, when you say wraith, you mean the things of legend and lore?
I mean, well,
Yeah.
yes, that's exactly what I mean.
Don't you mean to tell me that they are real?
Yes.
Well, most things of legend and lore, as we have learned over the last few days, have some truth to them. Elborn said that.
Many do have a crumb of truth, at least. If only
Well,
a
he
crumb.
was bigger than a crumb. We seen it. I don't know. It was tracking or connected to a caravan. We was moving into Bree from the Forsaken Inn,
Connected to that trinket.
Oh, I don't even know what trinket you're talking about.
Well, I'm just saying it is. I find it quite disturbing that here you are telling me stories about wraiths, and I have gone and seen serpents that should not exist, but do.
Serpents, you
Really?
say?
No page in my boat. Hold tight. Don't go anywhere, okay?
Well, that is where this came from, and he pulls out the giant foot-long fang.
3 days ago, you said you was a basic man. Just departing. Riding with. Look at that. That's impressive.
Well, this is why I tell you the story that you should hear of my captain. Our vessel on the river's high was attacked by this creature. I'm the sole survivor of our ship.
The soul. I've been waiting to figure out a name for your son. The sole survivor. Oh. Well, since we're all not interesting folk whatsoever, and have absolutely normal lives, I feel like this trip is going mighty fine, wouldn't you say? Been an easy trek on the road, makes one nervous a little bit.
Well, I mean, did you both make for very good companions? I'm very appreciative to have run into you.
Me too, because I needed a quick way out of town. I mean, you came at just the right time. Fates crossed and all that.
Bold and bodacious dwarf, you do not have to worry around me. Your business is your business. I'm not going to be going around telling nobody what you do or did.
Well, when you're talking at me like that, how am I not supposed to tell you the truth?
That is up to you. Your stories are yours to share.
Elevor, they called me bodacious. The last person who called me that was my brother's girlfriend. So, should we, tell him the truth? Feeling guilty.
All it takes for you to feel guilty is someone complimenting you?
No. It's not the compliment. It's the genuineness and the fact that he might be in danger and he really just doesn't know it because, the ring and the wraith are kind of connected. And he just thinks it's a trinket. And we both know it's not really just a trinket. I would know I swallowed it. I just feel a little guilty. Don't you feel guilty? Your life might be in danger. We're really nice people, but we're kind of cursed.
We is a strong word.
No, it's happened to all of us quite a few times.
It didn't happen to me until I met you. I've been alive for over 2,000 years.
Okay, well, it didn't really. Me and Willie was fine, just breaking fixes and fits, fixing them. We all had to go down in that burrow, and Tamius didn't make it, rest his soul, and and then there was all of the breaking up and the drinking and the caravan and the wolves. Forget the wolves. And then there was
the breakup was your idea.
Yeah, I know. I just don't even remember it.
And
in its
the drinking was also your idea.
I know. And you know what? That's actually come in handy, when I needed to puke back up our trinket. Okay, the thing that we're carrying to Rivendell to return is possibly maybe the actual curse thing. And we retrieved it off of a woman in the caravan. And we believe that this ring and our non-fairy tale wraith is somehow connected to it. So to assure its security and safety, I swallowed it. It made me have dreams, strange ones. When I came out, I knew we had to take this ring to the dwarves, but the wraith may still be after it. So, welcome to the truth.
Well, that is certainly an interesting turn of events. I was not quite expecting something so folklore-ish to kind of follow and our paths intertwined in this way, but I did not expect my path to be without peril. There are dark things in this world, and they are quickly squeezing out the last of the light. If you pay attention, you could see it all around.
Squeezing out the light? What do you mean?
Well, the fish aren't as good as they used to be. They're sick, missing scales, deformed, mutated. Up the river, like
What's
I
wrong
said,
with
we
them?
met that beast. Beyond my wisdom.
I look to Elevornith. What do you think? You always know. So because the fishies are missing scales, the light is going away? I don't want the light to go away. I like the sunshine. The stars, and a good fire with a little bit of salted meat.
Wow.
Where's Willie when you need a snack?
We
When
did
you
just
kill
the
have
creature-
breakfast.
Oh, well, you know, Willie likes second breakfast, and usually he carries like nuts and things in his pocket, and you know he gives me pocket nuts and berries and stuff. It's you know it's like our thing. You don't
How
have to
about
have
some
nuts in your
lembas
pocket.
bread?
Oh, lambus bread. The only other time I throw up. Oh, you know, maybe we save that for desperate times.
If you
Did you
only
know?
take a nibble, you won't throw up.
I know, but it's just so. Nobody eats for nibbles. You eat to fill your mouth with, you know, salty meat and melted cheeses and warm bread with a little salt on top. Oh, or maybe some rosemary. And some crisp proper taters. Over a pan. Willie used to put them in with a little bit, you know, of garden onion and spices. Little shire pepper. Was delicious. No, let's just save the lambus bread for when I'm really hungry. I guess you're right. I already had breakfast. But if you do have nuts in your pockets, I will eat them. Or berries. No, nobody. Okay. Well,
Solheim, do you have nuts or berries in those pockets?
I'm fighting so hard not to do the Austin Powers bit, but like, damn.
I love that somehow everything I say comes out as a dirty joke. This is now a proper character trait. It just happens this way. I don't mean it to. It's just, you know, I was born like this, beard first, you know, and
Beard first.
Just
The more
strutting
you know
beard
about
first into
dwarves.
Mordor.
one does not strut beard first into Mordor. Okay.
So that's the show, everybody. Have a great night.
I don't even know.
All right, you have 10 minutes,
Have we
Mike.
made
Are
it?
we gonna get to?
I don't know.
Please.
I have a whole page of notes. I have 2 paragraphs of lore.
We've been traveling and talking. We got to get there at some point, right?
I was hoping so, Dot.
Okay,
Fuck
so
me.
yeah, I do become a little obsessed with me hammer. Thank you, Mike or chat and or the Wraith, which made it possible.
It was you. You hit the Wraith. You rolled like a super insane amount of dice.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well,
Christ, gonna cracker. Okay. This conversation takes place over the course of 4 days.
Oh, we have way more than that. Just that. You think about this.
God.
It's only been an hour in real life.
This conversation and so many other ones that are lost to the annals of time take place over the course of 4 days. Holy shit. I need the lookout, which is Elverneth, to roll me awareness.
All right.
Oh, golly gee willikers, Batman.
A success.
Perfect. You see, so first, you see a very telltale sight, which could be the first time Solheim has seen it. I'm not entirely sure. You see what is known as the milestone. On the Great East Road, just south, I believe, or just north. Either way, just in a direction, just south of Weathertop, you see there are two large stone kind of columns, mostly ruins, on either side of the road. You know this used to be a large archway, kind of leading up to the fort that was Weathertop. This is called the milestone. Everyone, it's kind of like a marker, and you see Weathertop sort of rising up the hill. You see the spiral of like rune stones and the ancient relics and ruins of what once was one of the great watchtowers of the West. You see, walking up from the south, the thickets and forest from the south of the milestone, and you see a man, about 6'5", wearing a greenish gray cloak, drawn over his head, hood kind of down, so you can't really quite make out the face. But you see that he bears the resemblance to a traveling folk, perhaps someone who is living a hard life on the road, perhaps not too dissimilar to yourself. This person might be a ranger. Do you approach? Do you let them pass by?
We'll approach.
Do you greet said person?
Yeah. This would be the time where I would probably say something that most rangers knew as a greeting. Something like, "A fine weather we having today, friend. Have you been to the moot?"
Do you say this in Elvish, or do you say it in the Mannish tongue?
Does he look like an elf?
He does not look like an elf, but you know that all rangers, most, if not all rangers, can speak Elvish.
Then I will say it in Elvish.
Okay. His head cocks up towards you, and he responds in kind, in Elvish. So Solheim and Glowfrom, you both hear this in Elvish. As he responds is, "The day is long and the hours are late. The mute has ended." The moot has ended.
Where may I find news of the moot?
He looks to you and sort of like cocks his head, and he Actually, he stays in Elvish because you have a dwarf and a large man with you. And he looks to you and says, "Are you a friend of the kingdoms of old?"
I am Alaveneth Paradel.
He sort of reflects in recognition of the name, and he does sort of like, it's not exactly a salute, but it's definitely a gesture of like reverence, and he says, "I am Isil Mianel, or Isil Mayanel."
Oh gosh, that was not at all what I thought. Okay.
Isil Mayanel. You gotta love the spelling and pronunciation of Tolkien's Elvish. And you know, as soon as he says it, rolls off the tongue, that is Quenya, which is Old Elven, for friend of moonlight. That's just his Elvish name translates to. He says, "If you and your companions are of mind to fight the great enemy, then follow me and I will explain what happened in the moot, or at least as much as I am permitted.
Indeed. If it's okay, I'd prefer to switch to the common tongue so they can understand as well.
My apologies. Yes. And he looks to both Solheim and Glowfram, and he says, "Greetings, companions of Elverneth. I am, or Elaverneth. I am Esilmianel, a ranger of the north."
Well, I'm Glowfram. I'm a dwarf.
Him? Not a dwarf.
Good night,
He kind of
folks.
looks over to Glowfram and like gives a little playful wink.
I mean, he's telling the truth.
I can see that. Not to be insulting, sir, but I made an assumption based on. Either way.
Oh, based on what?
The 4 feet.
Okay, well, at least you're honest and bold.
Miss, you come up to his waist.
Solheim is actually looking for Haleth.
What she said.
Hold, please. And he like pulls out like a side satchel, and you see him like unfurl like a handful of papers that were like rolled up together, and he sort of goes through a few of them. I believe she's headed north. I'm not exactly sure, but I believe she's headed north. Is there something you needed?
Just in general, or to a particular place, or?
No, she was accompanied by another of our ranks, a young ranger named Orphan.
Oh, good. They met up.
I know him.
Oh.
We know him.
Well, I believe they were headed in the direction of the ruins of Fornost.
Do I know anything about these ruins?
Yeah, roll me a lore.
I don't think that's how you spell it, but I tried. All right. Lore?
Yeah.
Okay. A great feat success.
Damn.
Fornost.
Which is huge for somebody who's miserable. Cool. Yeah, you know a lot about Fornost. You know that Fornost was a human settlement of the kingdoms of old. It was basically the floodgate. It was basically like the final straw in the war of the Last Alliance, of the war against Angmar. It was one of it was belonged to the kingdom of Arthedain. It held its own against Angmar for as long as it possibly could, and eventually, when the elves and the men of Gondor were able to rally, albeit too late, that is where the battle was finally won, and the king was defeated.
Of Angmar.
Of Angmar, the Witch King of Angmar.
Okay. Well, I guess I know this. It's not really relevant to the conversation. Were they going there for a particular reason? It's ruins. There's no one there.
Well, there's no one typically there. There is, there are a lot of bandits in the area. We do keep a small presence there, much like here at Amon Sûl. We keep a watchful eye on Fornost terrain, and we maintain some semblance of upkeep. You can tell that upkeep does not mean cleaning.
Right. It means cleaning out.
Yeah. You would also know, perhaps, this is a big history thing, and I think it might be in Glofrum's wheelhouse of knowledge of ancient relics. Fornorst Erain was one of the sites of the Palantir. It was one of the watchtowers, the dome of the Watcher. The great seeing stones of old.
It held
now-
one.
It did.
Mike, I
Yes.
have to ask. When we started, I had secret information
You
about
did.
Fornost.
You did.
Oh.
Yes. I can't find it though.
Well, I wonder if I can. It's all relevant right now, and what I will say is,
I figure it was.
of what you remember, that's probably why they were sent north, or that's why they went north.
Yeah.
The Stoner bandits.
The information that Elverneth had about there, that's probably why
Oh.
Aelith and Orphan went north.
Yes.
Got it. I misunderstood. Okay. Got it.
So, in answering to Glofrum's questions on why they went, they were following up on information that we uncovered, Orphan and I, before I met you in Bree.
Oh. Well, you know, I look at this ranger. I don't know what he knows, but I look back to you and I get in kind of close and I say, Elavone, I'm sure you know what that place is for Nost, or at least what it was, and what happened there.
I was
Do you remember?
there. I remember it vividly.
You were there.
Yes.
Okay. We'll write that down later. Wow. So you know about the Witch King of Angmar, right? Remember? While back, you know, in all of the Timaeus business,
Mm-hmm.
the Witch King of Angmar got brought up when we ended up in that burrow. Do you remember?
Yes.
And the crown we fished out. You know, I don't want to go out on a limb here or nothing, but I don't need to get in rage or business. Is that connected? Because you know better than anyone that the Witch King of Angmar and anything connected to it is usually not good.
That is correct. I
So
have
we're-
written missives to my grandfather regarding this, and well, we are on our way to go consult with him as well.
Right. We're going to Rivendell, Mr. What's your name? Isilminil.
Nailed it.
I wrote it down.
I bet you did. Isel Mayanil.
Mr. Isilminil. Right?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, we're
Did
We're going to
you say
Rivendell.
all of that just out loud?
I said it in whisper, close whisper to Elborn because I wasn't sure, you know, if that's well known. I'm not here to stir nothing up, so I keep it a little private, if at all possible. If he overhears because of my boisterous, booming, wonderful dwarven voice, that's not really my fault.
He totally
If he wants
overheard.
to
There's no
eavesdrop, that's on-
way.
Yeah.
I was about to say, if he wants to eavesdrop, that's on his soul, not mine.
It's not so much dropping eaves as you are just on the road talking at a
No,
hushed tone.
he's dropping in
Okay.
them eaves, but I do lean in for a little secrecy if that's what you're asking for.
He looks to Elverneth, which in his opinion is clearly the leader of this company.
Clearly,
Yeah, very clearly. And he says, this is best discussed off the road. we could discuss it here. And he like motions to Weathertop.
Yes.
Now, Glofrim and Solheim, whether you've been here or not, you've never climbed Weathertop. But it does look like a pretty jaggedy, sturdy hill with a bunch of rocky outcroppings on it. It does not look like an easy climb.
So there's like stairs or something, right?
There are not stairs.
No, I asked him.
Ask him.
So,
he says,
"Look, we was planning to come to Weathertop, but I just thought maybe there might be an easier way to the top. We've had a long 4-day journey, from Bree.
There is a path that can make it easier for you. I can lead you, and I'm sure your friend here can.
I mean, I don't need an easier path. I just thought, it would be nice.
I just start walking.
He lingers for a second on Glofrim and then just follows you. And Elven,
I know how to get up. Yeah. I'm going.
Yeah.
I looked at Solheim. I was like, is it just me or are they very serious?
A bit more serious than I would have imagined.
I was serious. I was just asking for a flight of stairs. Me legs. If he's going to make a comment about me height to start things off or even learns me name, you'd think he'd offer me at least a flight of stairs.
I mean, technically he did comment on your height after he learned your name, but
Okay, well, I like to stretch the truth, Mike. It's a character flaw.
Clearly. Elverneth, and Solheim and Glofrim, you subsequently discover that there is a path up the hill of Amon Sûl. Had you not been led there, you never would have found it. The path is like intricately woven into like the natural folds of rock and hill that if you didn't know to look there, you'd never see it. And if looking from the outside, it just looks like rocky outcroppings. So unless you know where to find it, there is no way you would have been able to find this. That being said, you begin to ascend Weathertop. And that is where we will end tonight's session. And next week, I'll use all the notes I wrote.
No, you won't, because I can't be here next week.
Son of a bitch!
Me neither.
That's
sorry, I'm going to be partying in the woods, everybody.
Party Pack 10, everybody! Yo, what's up?
I hate
Wish
both
this
of you.
Party Pack 10 right now.
hate everyone. God damn it. That being said, we will wrap this session. We'll go around, do our introductions, so we can get the hell out of here. We'll start with Eris. Eris, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hi, I'm Eris Savad, and I make things. You can find the things that I make at erissavad.com. I have all sorts of things in shop right now, everything from rings, which I just put on sale today, to pre-order stuff, to a shop drop, which is going to happen tomorrow at noon Central Time, which is going to be your second chance at the Dragon Seekers pre-order fabrics. So if you wanted to get on Dragon Seekers pre-order and didn't get a chance, you get a chance tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Go look at erissavad.com.
Go check it out.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Gnome, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hi, I'm Gnome. I don't have anything to say because I gotta go walk my dog. She's like begging me to go potty.
All
Love
right,
your
that's
faces.
fair.
Bye.
That's fair. And last but not least, Dot, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I'm your friendly neighborhood Dot. You can find me online as Little Red Dot. I spend my days over at Kobold Press, and I spend my nights hanging out with cool people just like this all over the internet playing tabletop games.
Hell freaking yes. So you will not see a full cast episode of Shattered Crown next week, but perhaps you'll see an Elverneth solo adventure. So
thinking that it's perfect time for that.
It's a perfect time for that, and especially since we mentioned the fact that she was at Foremost Terrain at the Battle of the Witch King of Angmar.
Can we just talk about that tiny bomb drop? Like, holy crap-oly. I was like, oh yeah, sorry, I was there.
The funny thing is, like, Harris and I talked about that like in the the pre-season discussions, and both of us I feel like have been waiting for like, and now. Like I literally gave her a page
there
of
were
notes.
on Glowfam.
Yeah.
So many bomb drops. And I was like, sorry, let me just toss out all of Glowfram's trigger words.
I gotta go find that page of notes I gave
Gandalf, which King of Angmar?
Yep, was there at the
just
battle.
Toss it out there.
I was there.
Yep. Fought against the forces of the enemy, you know, the whole 9 yards.
Blotting out the light. What light? Like
Yeah. So we'll see what happens next week. We'll see what kind of adventure we get from Elverneth. Perhaps one of history as she remembers a time past as she ascends the ruins of Amon Sûl. One of the few people alive to have remembered before it was ruins. But that's it for us tonight. Thank you for hanging out, and we'll see you next time. So from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.